imagine that there's some serious competition between everyone, at least maybe in the early days.
Track, definitely.
Track.
Yeah.
I would always challenge my dad, like, you're not going to beat me at this. And we would literally I'd be over there doing a workout with my mom, and my dad would be there, and we'd run around the track, 400, 200, run down the pavement, just something that I could beat him at. And I never did. And it just still to this day, like, doesn't really make sense to me, because, like, that's what I was training for. And obviously he's taller, but I still just thought my speed would get him.
And I think he got the lean on you, too.
Yeah.
At the end.
One day he beat me by like half a lean.
Oh, wow.
That was the last race.
That was the last one
because
you've
it
done?
almost cost me a hamstring.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'd also like the record to show that I'm still owed a race that never took place because I was called out and I was ready to go. But nobody met me in the track. So I'd like the record to say that.
The Thurman name resonates across Arkansas. It's a legacy that was solidified with a single shot.
Thurman, he's open for three, good! Scotty Thurman with his third three!
But the Thurman legacy spans far beyond 1994. Scotty and his wife Regina, a former member of the Razorback Pom Squad, are not only proud alumni, but parents to two more Razorback athletes. Scotty Jr., who once took to the gridiron as a Razorback football player who still works for the school, and Romani, a standout volleyball player for the Hogs today.
Back set to Thurman for the first time, and she terminates.
As a new generation takes the stage in Barnhill Arena, the storied venue holds a special place for this family, each of them leaving their own mark.
Taken away from Ford. Thurman.
For me, it's got a lot of different feelings. There's always someone that kind of ties, for me, the memories of having played here and practiced here and spent so much time here.
It's really fun to see her to be able to be in the same building that we were in as well.
As a highly recruited volleyball player, Romani first chose North Carolina, wanting to blaze her own path in athletics. But soon, she felt the call to come back home.
I didn't want to be in that shadow, and I think that kind of pushed me away from the university. But I think as I got older and as I experienced more, I was like, that's something that I should want to do. That's something that I should cherish. Ultimately, like, I wanted to come back here because this is home.
Both Scotty Jr. and Romani chose to forge their own paths at Arkansas, each pursuing a different sport than that of their father, but united by the same Razorback spirit.
I knew what the legacy was. I wanted to live up to at least the best of my ability of what I could do. And I think just in all facets of life, that just carries over.
The Thurmans are a family built on loyalty, hard work, and an unbreakable bond with Arkansas.
When they start saying legacy, I hadn't thought about it. And then when you think about it, you're like, yes, it is a legacy. I think it's great, that we were all able to represent the University of Arkansas.
Well, first off, welcome to the Base Hog Pod episode that we have ever done here. We've got technically 5 people on mics today. So since we know that a lot of people are listening to this, I just want to go ahead and establish all of your voices for our listeners before we get started. So Romani, you're the reason that we're here inside Barnhill Arena. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Romani Thurman. I'm a right side sophomore hitter here, and I transferred here last semester from the University of North Carolina.
And Scotty, Razorback fans know exactly who you are, but you want to just give us an update on what you've been up to?
Well, I'm Scotty Thurman, a former member of the 1994 National Championship team and now volleyball dad at the University of Arkansas. And so just excited to be on the Hog Plus.
And we've got another volleyball mom with us, Regina.
Yes,
welcome.
I'm Regina Thurman. I am a volleyball mom, and I was previously a Razorback Pom Squad member. So
And Scotty Jr. with us as well today. Just welcome to the Hog Pod.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Scotty Thurman Jr., former football player, I guess volleyball brother, still trying to learn things of what's going on because I have no idea of any of the rules.
I was about to say, how's the volleyball knowledge coming with you guys?
It's coming, but there's a lot of things I'm still learning. I'm just excited to watch my sister play. So now I'm working here in the athletic department in compliance.
Yeah, I was about to say, all of you guys are all decked out in the red, the Razorback red today. So I know that this university means a lot to your family. And when you say the name Thurman in the state of Arkansas, it immediately clicks for people. Everyone recognizes that name. The legacy of the Thurmans, just what does that mean to each of you? If we just want to go down the line, just what the Thurman legacy means to you.
I mean, it means a lot to me. I'm the last one coming through, like just from my immediate family. And so to follow behind what my family has done here means a lot. And especially coming home, this not being the original school that I started at I think it means even more just because I'm being able to do something that not a lot of people get to do and compete at the highest level and following the legacy that my family has left.
Scotty, what about you?
Well, for me, it's a lot of different beliefs, a lot of emotion, a lot of pride. Just really thankful that, I get this opportunity, having experienced it, being a Razorback on so many different levels, having worked here, having coached here, having played here, and now getting the opportunity to, be a parent, sitting in the stands and supporting. So it comes in all aspects.
Yeah. Regina?
Yeah, when they start saying legacy, I hadn't thought about it. And then when you think about it, you're like, okay, Scotty played here. I cheered here. Little Scotty or Scotty Jr. played football here. And then Romani comes. So, yes, it is a legacy from parents down to the child. So I think it's great, that we were all able to represent the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, it's funny. Being back here, played here, then moved around and coming back, it just feels like home, and I think that's really what Arkansas has been for my family. It's just home for us, and now I have 2 kids, and all they know is Razorbacks, and so it's great to pass that along down, knowing kind of the history of our family, our parents, and now getting to see my sister play, and so it's becoming a family thing.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that the both of you basically grew up on campus here. What was that like for you guys?
For me, it was really fun, just like being around all the basketball players and even being in Barnhill with the former volleyball players, like before I even knew what volleyball was, has been really special. Like walking around and seeing people that have known me since I was 6 years old, from our equipment person to academic people, is really special, and not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was older when, so she got to see it as a young kid.
As a young kid.
But I was in high school when I first moved up here. I always enjoyed, watching the Razorbacks, but really got to see the passion and what this university means to the state. And just the families all over, really the whole U.S. You see Razorbacks randomly everywhere. So it's definitely great, having to be able to see different people and know kind of the legacies of different coaches that we've had, different programs that we have, and then to be able to play football here, it was just kind of, it was really surreal to be able to do that, and it was really special.
And as parents, did you guys just assume that being alumni here, your kids would end up at Arkansas, or did you just kind of cross your fingers and hope they'd make the right decision?
Well, I think both of them for me were different cases. Like for him, he played football. He had opportunities to go and play other places. Wasn't necessarily deemed as a quote-unquote highly level recruit at his sport because he played a lot of different sports growing up. And so we didn't know that football was what he was going to gravitate to. And so him gravitating to football and have the opportunity to come and play at Fayetteville High School put him in a situation to be a invited walk-on. He came and earned a scholarship. So, for me, there was just a sense of pride in him doing that, not knowing that we didn't tell him he had to play football or any sports for that matter or come to Arkansas, but he still wound up here and got 2 degrees. So we're thankful for that. And with her situation was different. I definitely wanted her to come here. I just would never go on record saying it at the time because I didn't want to have that type of influence. I wanted her to be able to make the decision. And so now she's wound up back here. And so it's all been a blessing, but it's kind of been their own deal. They've kind of navigated it. We've just kind of been parents and tried to help them navigate, so to speak, but not force anything upon them.
Did either one of you play basketball? I mean, it had to. It runs in the family, so you've got to have some practice in that. Scotty, did you ever think that you'd have some basketball players
Well, I didn't do a good job apparently because I mean they have a football player and a volleyball player, but I've always encouraged them to not even have to worry about sports. I just want them to participate in the things that they wanted to be in. Sports was something that I was always involved in, but I didn't hold those expectations for them. But once they, became involved in it, we just supported and tried to be present and continue to support now. And so for us, all of the sports, whether it be volleyball with her or football with him, we can't say we predicted any of it. We just tried to keep them active and involved, and things just worked out how they did.
And Regina and Scotty, I mean, just being back here in Barnhill Arena, your daughter plays in here now. There's a lot of history for your family in this arena. What's it like for you guys to be back in here?
It's really fun. I was on the Pom Squad. I was able to cheer here the last year that the basketball team was in Barnhill, so that was really good. So you come back and you see and you think about the days that you were here and on the side of the court and think about when he was playing. So it's really fun to see her to be able to be in the same building that we were in as well. So.
For me, it's got a lot of different feelings. I mean, it's odd in a sense because, she wore 23 her whole life, and now she's wearing 30, so that's odd. I still see people that are keeping stats that were keeping stats when I worked here and I played here, so that's odd. Whether it be the custodial services, there's always someone that kind of ties for me the memories of having played here and practiced here and spent so much time here because you get to become family with all of them. And so just to see them, and now they look at me like I had a guy making a joke the other day about me having readers on. And he was like, man, I know I've gotten old. I never thought I'd see Scotty Thurman wearing readers.
No.
So I'm like, hey, Father Time waits for no one, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So your dad mentioned it a little bit. You changed your number. Mm-hmm. What happened there?
Yeah, I have worn 23 all of my life in basketball and volleyball when I first started. But I think coming here, I wanted to really open like a new chapter of my life and kind of leave that behind. Like that, obviously wearing 23 is something that like I'll always hold near and dear to my heart, but I like wanted to really follow in like that legacy and like also make it my own. And so obviously I'm playing volleyball, so it's not the exact same. So I wanted to try and wear that number, and I was able to do that. And we already had number 23 on our team, so it wasn't going to be anything else but 30.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think you've always said if you came here, you would wear 30.
You feel any type of way about that?
No, not really. I mean, initially I wasn't a fan of it because I wanted her to continue her own, journey. Not that the number really factors into the journey, but, it's more of a sentimental deal. And so I just kind of wanted her to keep it. But once I saw her play that first game and how well she did in it, I kind of got over it pretty quickly.
And Scotty, your dad kind of mentioned your journey to Arkansas, and then after playing football here, you left for a little bit and now you're back, like you mentioned, working here. Just what's it like for you to be back on campus?
Yeah, so it's funny, us coming back, me and my wife, she didn't know we were coming back here. She's from South Arkansas, and so this was literally home for me. She wanted to explore some things, and so we moved around. I got an opportunity to work at the NCAA and work at the SEC office down in Birmingham, and so got to see, athletics from a lot of different lenses, but, it's kind of, I guess, poetic that we at some point we wanted to get back closer to home, and when the opportunity just lines itself up and we're able to make that happen. So it's definitely special being back here, and it's kind of bittersweet in some ways because I work here, but I'm also a fan. So there's some things I'm like I'm cheering hard for them, and there's other things I'm like
you got to be professional.
Yeah, I got to be professional. So it's kind of fun. Having that dynamic. I know when I get to go to volleyball games, I can let my hair down because I'm truly just a fan there. So I get to cheer and also be frustrated at times and things like that. And in other places, I'm kind of like, keep my business face on. But no, it's definitely fun, especially to bring my kids around and get that ingrained in them early. So once they get to the point, hopefully if they do play sports and get to play at that age, we don't have to make any other decisions, and it's just all hauled from jump. So
I love it. All right, so are you guys making it to a lot of the volleyball games then?
Yes.
In the stands?
We make it to all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
are people coming up to you guys because they know who you are and trying to talk to you about basketball or anything?
Yeah, we've had that happen. I mean, it happens to me more than her.
I'm sure.
But I mean, it's just part of it. You know, I just let them know I'm here to support her. I'm not coaching. I'm not playing. I'm here as a fan, as a dad, and so I just get a chance to go and support. But there are places you go. You know, I won't mention some of them, but there are places you go where people recognize you and want to come up and take pictures, and you're like, no, you're not with us, but you still have to do it.
And Romani, I want to talk about your journey to Arkansas because you didn't start your college career here, but what brought you back?
You know, I think it's always important to go and explore something else, and that's what I wanted to do. I think I chose to kind of leave the legacy a little bit and just try and go make something of my own, and I think I wouldn't trade it for the world, but ultimately, like, I wanted to come back here because, like my brother said, this is home, and when the opportunity presented itself, I wanted to come back and be here and wear a Hog jersey, and it was kind of a no-brainer, honestly. Like, I wanted to come back here and be with these girls and play for Coach Jason. So
I do, when you bring up kind of getting away from the legacy, it's like pros and cons, you know. It's great that your family has such a amazing history here at the University of Arkansas, but being your own selves and your own athletes, trying to make your own name for yourself, was that anything that you both struggled with?
I mean, I think at first, like when I was trying to make the decision as a 10th grader going into my junior year of high school, like I think it was hard because I didn't want to be in that shadow, and I think that kind of pushed me away from the university. It's just I didn't want to have to think about like following behind it. But I think as I got older and as I experienced more, I was like, that's something that I should want to do. That's something that I should cherish and be willing to do, and do it with to the best of my ability. So I wanted to do that. Yeah.
What about for you?
Yeah. For me, it was weird because I embraced it, but I also want to do it with my own twist to it. Obviously playing football, I did play basketball growing up. I just happened to be didn't get the inches that my dad got height wise, and so 5'10", 6'4" is a little different. So so I kind of knew where my strengths were, and football just kind of became a little natural to me as I got older, and so I was like, well, let me do that and be the best I can be at that, and obviously earn a scholarship, got a chance to win 2 bowl games, be on those special teams, and so it's been great for me to do it my own way, but I still feel like I try to embrace just the Thurman legacy and kind of what we have as a family here.
And Regina and Scotty, just what's it like for both of you to see your kids have their own college athletic careers here at the university where you both attended?
Well, for me, it's just a sense of pride. I mean, because of the way he did it. He did it the way where it's not a lot of notoriety or not a lot of fanfare that comes with it, invited walk-on, and he still was able to not only get his school paid for, but catapult it into a career. And so I think, that's kudos to him. That I don't know how much that had to do with his mother and I. I think he had the drive to do that. And for her, she's always been driven, always been around him, following him with his friends and having to be competitive because she was always the smallest and the youngest. And so I think she just got that competitive gene, and it kind of crushed me, really, when she didn't want to play basketball anymore. I think it crushed her mother when she decided not to run track. But, we decided to let her go ahead and figure this volleyball thing out. And, the rest, she's just kind of taking the bull by the horn, so to speak.
Yeah,
Regina,
and I agree with Scotty. With Scotty Jr., he was mostly with his dad playing basketball and, and football. And then Romani, I was mostly following her around with track, with tennis, with what else did we do? With basketball, with dance, gymnastics, everything.
We dabbled with a lot of things.
Everything.
Okay.
So, I think we were just trying to find that special sport that she, would flourish in, which she did in track and she did in basketball, but when she found volleyball, she felt like that was her calling. And we were shocked, when she said I was not running track, I'm not playing basketball anymore, I'm playing volleyball. We were shocked, but when we realized how well she would do in the sport, we started supporting and we were, happy with that.
Were you surprised at all by how much you liked volleyball?
Yes. It wasn't really something that I was looking to do.
Yeah.
I just went to a junior high school with a bunch of my friends, and they were all playing, and we were just in there doing like the meet and greets at the beginning of the year, and the basketball coach happened to also be the assistant volleyball coach, and she was like, you need to try it. And I was like the tallest one out of my friend group, and I just ended up doing it. And at that age, it's all jumping up and cheering in the middle of the floor. But obviously now at this level, it's not about that. But yeah, I just kind of found it and I fell in love with it.
And also, you attended a couple of camps here at the University of Arkansas as well, didn't you?
Yeah, after
Okay.
I really started playing volleyball. I never
Gotcha.
attended camps at a young age. I mean,
Actually, you did.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I guess
actually,
I
Tell
don't
us
remember
about
that.
it.
Well, I used to, because I was working in athletics at the time, I would bring her over here I had a friend who was coaching on the staff, and Romani was too young to actually be here. I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm hoping that statute
We
of
just kind of
limitations
snuck
over.
her in.
But I would bring her over here because mom would be busy at work, brother would be busy with school, I would be busy with work. So for me, it was a daycare situation.
Put her in the
And
camp.
so I was able to pay and bring her to camp, and she would come to camp, and they'd bring her back, and her hair would be twisted in a certain way. And some days they give her back to me. Some days they wanted to keep her and be like, no, she can just hang out with us. You can come get her when you're done. And the next thing I know, this is the sport she's playing. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not.
It's like a
but
big family
I would
now.
like to think so.
Clearly,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. So I guess I was really young, quite young.
I'm sure there are some pictures somewhere. But I've got to ask, too, I mean, you're mentioning all the different sports that you have all tried, your kids have tried. I imagine that there's some serious competition between everyone, at least maybe in the early days. Maybe you guys were doing some pickup in the backyard or something, anything like that going on?
Track, definitely.
Track?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my dad would go. I went to Happy Hollow Elementary School here, and I would always challenge my dad, like, you're not going to beat me at this. And we would literally I'd be over there doing a workout with my mom, and my dad would be there, and we'd run around the track, 400, 200, run down the pavement, just something that I could beat him at. And I never did. And it just still to this day, like, doesn't really make sense to me because, like, that's what I was training for. And
Yeah.
obviously he's taller, but I still
True.
just thought my speed would get him.
And I think he got the lean on you, too.
Yeah.
At the end.
One day he beat me by like half a lean.
Oh, wow.
That was the last race.
That
That was the
was.
last
because
one you've
it
done?
almost cost me a hamstring.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'd also like the record to show that I'm still owed a race that never took place because I was called out and I was
no.
ready to go, but nobody met me in the track. So I'd like the record to say that.
How long is this race? Is this like a 400?
No,
200?
I think we said 200.
I think we said
Yeah, I think we
200.
said
Something.
200.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never
mean-
really raced. I just trained, and I would train with her
Gotcha.
to have her to get better. So that was my role in it.
Well, hey, we can make that race happen.
Well, now
you let
I
us
don't
know
know.
when
I was about to say, me either. I don't know how much I can
think-
give him on the
yeah,
200.
She can race my kids. I think they can keep up with her. They can keep up with her for sure.
It's funny, but like you guys really all have a great drive, no matter if it's sports or really just anything you're pursuing in life. It seems like that just runs in the family. Where do you guys think that came from?
That's a good question.
I don't think we had a choice. The constant message growing up was you're either gonna get scholarship or you're gonna get student loans when you go to college. And I think that puts some pressure on you to you got to figure some things out. And I think Romani has been a great, brilliant student. Coming up, I more had to work a little harder to get my grades. I did okay, but I could have done a lot better. And I think my dad and my mom pushed me because they knew I had more potential, and they did not want me to waste any of it. And so I think that pushed me academically, and then also on the sports because I knew what the legacy was. I wanted to live up to at least the best of my ability of what I could do. And I think just in all facets of life, that just carries over. And now being an adult, being a dad, trying to, he's been a great dad. My mom's been a great mom for us. And so trying to make sure that I'm doing those things as an adult now.
And Romani, I mean, for you being here now, the last one at Arkansas, just carrying on the Thurman name, what's it like for you to be, having that name with you and representing your family?
It means a lot. I think I bring it with me everywhere, whether that's in the classroom or on the court. Like, I want to leave my all. I want to have no regrets. After this season, I have 2 more years, and I want that to be like the most fulfilling part of being a Razorback. And I'm about to go into law school too. So
wow.
Yeah, so I'm actually 2 years ahead in college. So I'm working hard, trying to work hard in all aspects. And
Excuse me.
I'm trying to do
You are 2 years ahead?
I am. Yeah.
How? Well, because also
yeah.
like balancing athletics and school is hard enough as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this happen?
I think, well, I graduated high school a semester early.
Okay.
But I also took a lot of AP credits in high school. So I take a lot of hours like during the semester in general. So just like building up those hours. I just took my LSAT last month. So just trying to, use all the resources and do everything that I can.
The family just gets more impressive, I swear. Growing up with Scotty Thurman as your dad, I'm sure that anywhere you went and you said, oh yeah, that's my dad or something, people would probably talk to you about him and the shot and everything like that. Just what was it like for you both growing up with that?
I will say it was annoying when I was younger. like we could never get out of a restaurant, get out of the gym, get out of anywhere without like a bunch of people stopping us. But as I got older, like I really started to realize like how special that was and like how special this university was and how special that national championship is to this university. And my dad always tells me I could have missed the shot, which is very true. But like I feel like it's something you should cherish. Like it's not something that I should kind of like not feed into. Like it's like really special, but at a young age I was just like, guys, like please let us leave.
We're just trying to get out of here. I get you. What about for you?
So it's kind of funny, like for me, when I was younger, my dad was playing professional ball, so Monty got to spend a lot more time when she was a kid, whereas I was with my grandparents because my dad was playing ball, my mom was in med school. But once my dad retired from basketball and was here throughout the year and I moved back with them, that's when I started really seeing how many people were fans and different things. And so I was like, oh, okay. But I had gone so much of my life, it's like my dad's a normal guy. I know he plays basketball, but he's just a normal guy. So I didn't really get all the shot and all that stuff really until middle school, high school, and I think for me, I think it helps, because he's human, and it humanizes him. But seeing how other people feel about him, it's definitely something I'm proud of, and it excites me when others are excited to see him, and so he plays it real cool. So it's kind of like you don't feel the excitement when somebody sees you, but obviously he gets it, throughout his life. So he's probably like, all right, I know what I did, but that's old news.
So
but it definitely was fun seeing it growing up.
Look, well, they're not the only ones that get it.
I was
get
about to
it.
say, you probably get it too.
Yeah, seeing patients. Oh, Scotty Thurman is your husband? Yes, he is.
Yep.
So the conversation goes from what's going on with them to how's he doing? What is he
Exactly.
doing? I remember the shot. So look, I get it as well. So you just have to embrace it.
Exactly. And Scotty, how do you handle it when that happens?
Well, I mean, I've always looked at it a couple of different ways. So, growing up in Louisiana as a fan of NCAA college basketball, I've emulated so many different people. You 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whether it be Dallas Combagees or Mookie Blaylock or Keith Smart or just somebody that you grew up watching play. And so to actually be in a situation to do it, I guess I have my own self to blame because I've emulated so many people doing it, and then I was put in a position to do it. And so I've always looked at it one or two ways. They could either be walking away from me because I missed it, or they could be celebrating the fact that I made it. And so I think I prefer the latter part.
Absolutely. Being that this is such an athletic family, and for you both raising children that played sports pretty much all their lives, are there any tips or advice that you would give to anyone else who is, because I think a lot of people feel that sports is important for your kids. Why do you feel that way?
I think because of all the different things that it teaches you, teamwork, discipline, hard work. I mean, I could name a ton of them. But my advice probably to some of the families that are working with student athletes is I always tell people, let them pick what they want to do, because if you want to do it, that's not them wanting to do it. And so I think a lot of parents get caught up in what they want their kids to do, and I'm a victim of it too. I wanted him to do what I wanted him to do at a certain age. Well, he chose to do what he wanted to do, and it worked out. I wanted her to do what I wanted her to do at a certain age, but it worked out with her doing what she wanted to do. And so I think as parents, we want to try to always drive the car, and we get used to this drop-off mentality. We were always in control. Take our kids here. We drop them off, pick them up. It's the same in life. You try to tell them what to do and how to do it. It's not the way the real world works. And so I've just been blessed to have my wife, who we kind of soundboard off of one another. You know, we're different in terms of how we approach certain things, but we're the same at the same time, if that makes sense. And so we've always based everything on the academic work first, or you don't get the opportunity to do this. We have a lot of parents now that are in the stands and the bleachers and are screaming about playing time and are screaming about minutes, and their kids aren't performing in the classroom. How's that supposed to work? And so that would be my advice: is books before basketball, books before volleyball, before any other sport as a young kid, not when they get to be this age. So when they get to be this age, it's that much easier for them.
Regina, any tips or
Yeah,
advice?
so I agree with Scotty, but also whatever your child is passionate about, because if they're passionate about something, they're going to put their full effort into it, and you're not going to have to push them, to put the effort into it, pushing them to go practice basketball when they don't want to. So just find out what they're passionate about and just kind of encourage them to be the best at it that they can be, and then I think they'll be successful.
Yeah. And since we're on the topic, just growing up for both of you, playing sports all your lives, how do you think that benefited you today now? So Romani, if you want to go first.
I would definitely say the hard work part of it, because you don't grow just playing the game. You grow doing the hard work that it takes to be good at that sport, and to what it takes when you lose. All of that goes into it, just the mentality of going through hardships in life. And I feel like that just helps you all around, especially in the classroom, having to manage doing your schoolwork, traveling, and all that stuff. That'll help you once you get older, as far as working and managing all of that different kind of stuff.
What about for you?
Yeah, I think, mental toughness is a big piece of what you learn, especially I think with our URVC, we have a competitive family.
Yep.
So as soon as you show that you want to try something, like with me in basketball, then I had the wrath of, I'm sure it was Coach Richardson coming through my dad whenever we were working out to get things done. And I appreciated it. And when it turned to football, where probably some coaches are a lot harder than in basketball, I was ready for whatever I needed, coaching wise, whether that was, being yelled at or we were running all day. I was already used to that. And so I was like, hey, this it's fine. I can do this. My dad pushed me harder than anybody else is going to push me. So you throw whatever at me, I'm ready for it. But I also think, it earning the respect of your parents too. If you say you want to do something and they're going to put the time in for you to do it, actually show that you appreciate the time they give and work hard as you can. And I think that, you benefit from it. They don't feel like they're wasting their time. And if you want to, as a kid, wanting to play something, really stick to it and push through it, but also understand that it's a privilege to play sports. It's not a right to play sports. And so if people are going to put time and resources into you being able to do those things, really appreciate and take advantage of it and do your best.
And you mentioned Coach Richardson. I am curious, did either one of you meet him at a young age, or is he just an uncle kind of situation? Yes.
I mean, I don't get to see him much, but I did meet him at a young age, and I even saw him last semester when I got back. We were going to an event, and I ended up seeing him, and I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, Coach Richardson," and he was like, "Are you?"
Sorry, you
yeah,
grew up.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've known him for a long time, and obviously my dad has shared a lot of stories, so I know who he is and I know who he was as a coach and as a person. So that's super special.
What about for you?
Yeah, I got to meet him when I was a little older.
Okay.
I'm sure I met him when I was young, but I probably don't remember it. But when I really got to meet him, and when we see him, he just always have that calming presence and just being around him, just all the stories that you hear. I was like, that can't be this guy. This guy's the nicest man ever. There's no way that all the stories of him yelling. And I mean, we see videos of it. I was like, I don't think that's him. I don't believe it.
Y'all didn't think of him as a big deal, or were you just kind of oh, this is Coach? Wasn't a starstruck kind of thing?
I wouldn't say starstruck, but he does have an aura about him. It's peaceful, but it's also intense at the same time, because you can see he looks you in the eyes and he commands your attention and presence when he's in the room, even when he's being cheerful and things like that. It's just kind of the way he walks. You just see something about him. Just okay, I see why everybody loves him. So
yeah. I think since I met him at a younger age, like I see him more as like family. Like I just go up and hug him and just love on him. Like I don't see him as like this hard like person, but like I feel like it's super special for me and my brother to have met the same person, but just see him in a different light, but also like respect him so much.
Well, for Scotty, you know, playing under Nolan and stuff, is there anything that you learned from him that you applied when you were raising your kids?
Yes, a lot. Some of it I can't share on the show. But one of the biggest things I learned was getting up early and getting prepared for the day. And so, you know, we practice here. You know, back in my day, we lived just right up the hill at Wilson Sharp. And so we practiced at 6 in the morning a lot. And so I always thought that was like the craziest thing. Like, why are we practicing at 6 in the morning? We don't have any games at 6 in the morning. And so we practiced at 6 in the morning, and you know, you had to be here on the floor ready to go at 6. It wasn't like you could be stumbling in. You didn't get the opportunity to be getting stretched out. No, when he walked in at 6, the sweat better be going. You better be ready to roll. And so, like, for me, I thought that was crazy. Now, I fast forward in my life, and I can't sleep past 5 and 5:15. And I'm like, you know, what's going on? But I pride myself on getting a lot more done between 5 and 9 than most people are going to get done between 8 and 12. And so I kind of put that on them to where when they were being student athletes or becoming student athletes, forcing them to get up in the morning. And it wasn't based off of sports. It was based off of them just getting up, getting ready. And people would look at me like when he was 12 and they'd be like, why are they in the gym this early? And most people thought it was sports. I mean, of course he was playing sports. But for me, it was the whole getting yourself ready to go. You've exercised already. You know, get you something to eat. Hey, get to class. Let's go. And so with her, it just continued. And so we would get up in the morning until her high school coaches started making it a requirement to practice early. Like that's always been our regimen. If they're not with us, my wife and I, we get up early in the morning and we go work out or we talk and connect. And that's just kind of our thing. And so I just learned that, you know, you go to bed, get some rest, and get up the next day and get ready to go. And there are really no excuses. And so that's the main thing I learned.
So are the rest of you all now early risers then?
Yes.
All the time?
Only because of my children. That's
okay.
Because it did carry on. Like when
Right.
I played football, it was all early mornings.
Yeah.
All every year. So early morning workouts and even staying up late to do things. So I got used to not sleeping. So I think I probably took over the not sleeping part, if anything. And now that you know I got my kids, they're up super early.
They're
so it's like,
you,
all right,
yeah.
time to get up and get going. So I guess it's a good thing that I got to do all that.
Got you ready for
exactly,
that.
Exactly.
What about for you?
I would say we have practice in the evening and I'm still up at 6 a.m. So, you know, unless it's like a late game, I'm always up. And I know my parents are up too. So
it worked then. It stuck with them.
Stuck with us.
And then as parents, you know, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but seeing your daughter and your son carry on the legacy, just what's it like for you to see them not follow in your footsteps, but just carry it on?
Just to see them be the best person that they can be, you know, is very fulfilling for us. You know, in whatever aspect they decide to, you know, accomplish. I think just to know that they've tried their best, to know that they've succeeded. I mean, that's the thing that I think just being a parent, that's what you want to see in your kids.
Arkansas, this university, your family has made such an imprint on it. And the people that live in this state, I know that this university has made an imprint on you all as well. So if you could just kind of give me an idea of what being a Razorback means to each of you. Romani, if you want to start.
it means the world. Like I said, like growing up on this campus from a young age, whether that was going to watch the basketball team play, going to watch other athletic teams play, and like bonding with those girls from a very young age, like I feel like that just instilled a lot of values in me, and I know what this university is about, and I know how much the fans care, how much the community cares. Like being a Hog, like there's nothing like being a Hog. There's only one. My dad always told me growing up, there's only one Hog. There's only one Hog. So like I feel like now being here, especially at my age, like I can truly feel that and I truly see that. So like to be a part of the legacy that is the University of Arkansas and my family is amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Scotty, what about for you?
Oh, just a big sense of community and family. I think is what I get from it, having been here, came here to college when I was 17 and had the opportunity to work here, play here, all those things. And obviously, having 2 student athletes having come through and a wife, just a sense of family. And going and traveling around the world, you see it more and more, when you're actually in other places and you run into people that have not only went to school here, but maybe participate in the sport. Maybe they didn't, but it's still that same sense of pride. And so I've always appreciated that. Like some of my best friends didn't play any sports here. They just went to school here. And that's fine too, because we're all, considered to be one family. And so that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, and I agree with Scotty. Friends, family, the academics is really good here as well. So I just think just the entire school, whether it's academics, whether it's sports, whether it's just making friends, everything here, just makes you proud, of the university. So just glad to be a part of it.
Saying something different than what they've all said, because I agree with all of them. The uniqueness that wearing the Razorback just wherever you go, because there is only one hog, but also because the area where we are our community is so behind the University of Arkansas, whereas other schools, they might have, or the states might have 5 different schools where people are rooting for, whereas Arkansas, granted, we got different universities as well, but Arkansas is special, it's special wherever you go. And so being able to go to different places and proudly say, yeah, I'm a Razorback, and be proud of the uniqueness that we have, and also the standards that we have as a program, I think it's something special for people that's involved.
It's home for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I speak for all the Razorback fans that we are very grateful to have you all. So thank you all for taking the time to sit down and talk with us about the Thurman legacy today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.